Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
We're watching Fanboy.
Fanboy, etc.
FanboyNation.
I assume Tom.
All right, Michael Jai White, it is always a pleasure to chat with you. I think the first time I ever saw you in anything was Spawn. We've talked, for various movies over the years. And then, we have that mutual friend in Michael Chavello. So it's always a pleasure chatting with you.
Good to chat with you again, too.
Listen, man, this movie, As Good as Dead, is an incredible film. I watched it before I read all the taglines and realized that this is based on your real brother's life.
Yeah, it's loosely based on my brother. My brother who, my brother drove his motorcycle from Florida into Mexico and fell in love with the culture and fell in love with a woman there and started a family. And later retired there. He was supposed to be my Spanish coach because I intended on speaking half of the movie in Spanish, but sadly I lost my brother to COVID about a month before we started filming. So I use his name, and this is in honor of him. Yes, I based the character on him, but mainly because he, like myself, we had such a love for the Latino culture and the culture in Mexico that's so family based and just so salt of the earth type of people. And so I wanted to do a movie that kind of put that front and center. And since there are not a lot of martial arts action films that are in that kind of tableau, so I had this kind of story in my heart, and I wrote it, and hopefully people get out of it what I intended, for them to get.
I enjoyed it immensely, and the fact that it's loosely based on a true story, you're honoring your brother in this. It creates a legacy, I would presume, that immortalizes him for your nieces and nephews. So that's just an added bonus on top of the story.
Well, absolutely. That's my intention. I use my brother's name in the movie. He wasn't necessarily law enforcement, but I did some dramatic license there. So I'm kind of fusing a character like myself and my brother kind of together.
Yeah. Well, what you did with this and the character of Oscar and how he's being bullied by his brother's friends and associates, so we don't give too much away, and then take him under your wing. One of my favorite lines from the early part of the film, because again, I don't want to go past the first quarter and I want everybody to see it, is where he gets punched in the face with the boxing glove. Mm-hmm. And he confesses that when you get hit, it's your fault.
Right. Right. That's a lesson I learned from my instructor. That was directly from my instructor, Shigeru Oyama. That you get hit, it's your fault.
Hey, it happened to me on Monday at wrestling practice. I took a shoulder to the face because I didn't finish the throw right. So,
right.
I know exactly what it's like. What I love about your career is that you didn't take BS from anybody in making your films. Mm-hmm. And so, like you, Melvin Van Peebles, Mario Van Peebles, you did it your way, and you're still doing it your way and getting these films done without the guff of people like trying to put their finger in your face and telling you how to change. And I've always respected that about you. And you've done that again with this film.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, sometimes, sadly, a lot of people who are put in power might not be connected to, the average citizenry. A lot of people look at it as a business. Even though it's a business, it's something that I believe, as a former school teacher, I think the platform of movies and the storytelling, it's quite powerful in all of our lives, whether we like it or not. And good messaging, which seems to be missing in a lot of movies now. I want to return to that. I want to have something to say. I want to, even if you take the action out of it, I want the story to have something to contribute to everyone. and and I sought out to do this. This is something that I feel like families can pull from. I mean, I miss the days where the entire family could sit together and watch a film, and I want to return to that.
Well, as a former school teacher myself as well, I'm thrilled that you're doing it too.
Thank you.
Yeah. What subjects did you teach?
I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So a lot of times I was the teacher that, I had to teach the science, well, I was a major, I was better in history. That was my specialty. But but I also was an EMD teacher, well, special ed. So that's what I had done.
Wow, fantastic, man. I was history and literature.
Okay.
Yeah. With everything that you've done, especially with this film, and having been a teacher, I'm surprised you haven't tried to revitalize the Substitute franchise at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I've got I have a pretty strong story, and I mean, I'm starting to do my own, like you mentioned, I'm starting to do my own films, and one of them has a large quotient of the character as a teacher. Just really drawn from some real things that has happened in my life.
I love it, man. But with As Good as Dead and the inspiration of your brother, and then the border town living there trying to have a peaceful existence where trouble finds him, Luca Oriel as Oscar is incredible. Yes. As the youth coming up and like trying to find the balance between the light and the dark. This is something that we all go through at certain points in life. When you were doing the casting, and then, well, go back to the writing and the inception of the film to the final cut, how important was the casting for you? And how did you know when Luca and, well, your wife is also in it, as I was, obviously Jillian's gonna, didn't have to audition, but, all the cast members coming through and pulling off just this incredible ensemble.
I was amazingly lucky to find Luca. I mean, I'm just amazingly lucky. I mean, it was like he was created from the script. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, that's the guy. We got to make this happen. That the chances of that were really slim, because you write something and in hopes that somebody does justice to that, and I think Luca exceeded that.
He does an incredible job. Gabriella is incredible. Just the whole ensemble makes it flow to the point of you're still drawn into the story without being pulled back and go, oh, I remember that person from this other film. You just see them as this character. So I'm incredibly pleased with how you wrote everything and the development of how it flowed, that we actually believe that these are real people and not actors portraying these characters.
Well, thank you. That's high praise. That's the goal. To make people forget they're watching a movie for a while, and just really get into their system. And I always want to make movies that you could watch multiple times. So hopefully this is another one of those.
Listen, I just watched Blood and Bone the other day, so of course I got to come back and watch your stuff with this one as well.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're still waiting on a sequel with that one and another fight scene with Gina.
So. Okay. That'd be interesting. Yeah.
What I love about your stories is that they're very American, and that they have the influence of real life and even sometimes lower socioeconomic situations that people are still trying to rise from. But they also have an Eastern feel to it in the storytelling and the development of the characters. How much of that is from your Kyokushin and Shotokan influence early in life, and how much of that is personal philosophy and life experience?
I think they're all. I don't think you can separate them all, because it's really kind of the mixture of what makes me. The things that the storytelling. I grew up on this 70s storytelling. And even in life, I enjoy people with character. I never cared about fame and people with money and everything else. In fact, one of the reasons I even wrote this is that I so honor honorable people, and those are my heroes. The average man that gets up and puts food on his table for his children, whether he has meager means or not. And that's one of the things that I always loved about the Mexican people and the Latino community. Sometimes I would see people on the corner just waiting to be picked up to get some work, to do some work for the day, like laborers kind of work. And I always sought to be, to be worthy enough to sit at that man's dinner table, because I go, do I have that? Here's somebody who's working, doing what he can, and to do things for his family. And I know millionaires that I don't honor that much, that maybe not have that kind of character to work day in and day out to make a better life for their children, whether that means making $40 that day. They're happy because they have their family. That to me is like, there's a richness in that it's in me, and I never want that to change in my life, because that's the things that matters. And so I wrote about things that I felt matter.
And they do matter, and you pulled it off. Unfortunately, I got the 2-minute warning, Michael, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. As Good as Dead is a phenomenal film. I love everything that you do. One day, hopefully, God willing, you'll allow me to do a set visit and just come hang out on the set with you in person again. Please let us know when As Good as Dead comes out and when we can, find you on social media.
As Good as Dead comes out on December 16th. That's next week, I believe. Yeah.
Just in time for Christmas.
Yep, just in time for Christmas.
And where can we find you on social media if we want to connect?
I'm at official Michael Jai on Instagram and hashtag Michael Jai White on all the other ones.
And it's been a great pleasure. Thank you so much for today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you in person again.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
You too.